What is the importance of tipping? How does tipping affect people from different cultures? Through a series of interviews with service workers in restaurants and university students around each campus, we look for the possible presence of bias against customers based on their gender, race, ethnicity, or age.
Background of tipping culture. Tipping culture originated in 16th century England during the feudal era. Guests will give money to servants after receiving excellent service, and over time, servants began to expect tips. Tipping culture became more established in the US after the Civil War, as wealthy Americans who traveled to Europe brought the custom back. Additionally, after the war, formerly enslaved black workers were given little or no wages and were expected to earn money through tips. Businesses also preferred this model, such as the Pullman Company, which paid low wages and encouraged employees to rely on tips. The system has evolved into the modern tipping culture we see today. Current state of tipping. In the Americas, the Middle East, and Africa, tipping is customary as it can be an essential part of a service income and it can essentially lead to a customer having a better service provided. In European countries, tipping is unnecessary but always accepted since countries within the European Union already have laws that assist gratuity. Lastly, in some Asian and Pacific countries, tipping is considered unnecessary and at times disrespectful to the owner of the establishment since it suggests that they do not value their employees.
Continuing with the topic of tipping culture in Korea, tipping is not mandatory, but people sometimes leave a small tip for good service. However, the tipping culture has developed somewhat differently here than in the West. In Korea, it's uncommon to give or receive tips in most service industries. The service fee is generally included in the billed amount, so there's no need to leave an additional tip.
In the US, a good tip was found to be considered around 20% of the total bill value. According to a study by Jewell from Southern Adventist University, young diners tipped an average of 6% more than middle-aged diners, and white diners typically tipped an average of 7% more than black diners, indicating that race and age were huge components towards tipping practices. The World Population Review released information that stated that the United States is the leading country in the tip category. They theorized that this could be because servers or customer service workers look for a thank you in the form of money, whereas in South Korea, waitstaff is paid a regular wage and their income does not rely as heavily on tips.
Here we will show the video clips from the interviews with servers and students demonstrating our ultimate findings.
Do you earn by tip or check?
Check. Tips.
What would you consider to be a good tip? Like
Service would be like 18 to 20%.
Like 20% and up.
do you rather earn through tips or salary?
I would say tips.
Be on salary as opposed to like working for tips, just because it's so unpredictable.
Do you prefer to have a foreign customer?
I don't mind. I just need, customers.
I've noticed that the worst tippers are white people, specifically older white people.
Would you rather pay more for your food and not tip, or pay for your food and tip?
Pay for the food and tip because then I'm in control of how much I get to add on.
I'd rather pay for my food and tip because then I'm like in control of how much I can tip.
What would you consider to be a good tip?
If it's a sit down, about 20%. If it's takeout, I do like $1 or $2.
I would tip 20% if it's good. If it's like takeout, I'll tip 10.
What would incentivize you to provide a service worker with your good tip?
They're friendly, check on you, nice. You don't have to wait long.
Probably just how they treat you.
한국의 문화적 정서와 팀 문화는 맞지 않다고 느낍니다. 한국은 과거 농어 시대부터 20세기 여러 전쟁을 거치면서 한 민족이란 정서적 그늘 아래서 공동체의 문화가 자리 잡았고 한국의 정이란 말이 있을 정도로 주변인들과 유대관계가 깊은 데에 반면 개인적이고 거래적인 관계가 강조되는 팀 문화와는 맞지 않다고 느낍니다. 특히 한국의 정문화는 단순 경제적 서비스가 아닌 정서적 유대라고 느끼기에 팀 문화는 이러한 공동체적 정체성을 파괴하는 요인이 될 수 있다고 느낍니다.
In conclusion, addressing biases in tipping culture could be more effectively achieved by eliminating tipping entirely.